just go off on us again on California. I find it astonishing that California is trying to stamp out companies like Uber and Lyft when they're so innovative and they're supposed to be the home of innovation. What do you make of this?
Well, it's yet another nail in the coffin, as you have just so eloquently laid out. It's hard to believe sometimes. It's hard to square the circle that Silicon Valley happens to be in California. You would almost expect for it to be elsewhere. And I think that's why we've seen little Silicon Valleys pop up in places like Austin, Texas, because the idea of innovation that comes out of Silicon Valley is so often crushed by over-regulation in California that effectively ends up pushing the best companies to leave its borders.
It's a very sad story. I do remember 50 years ago, first came here, you always thought of California, man, they're way out front. This is the way we are going. I think that's really changed quite dramatically, actually. But enough of this. Let me move on. Let's talk your terms. Let's go to your turf for a second. Let's talk the economy. I'm going to play a brief soundbite from Larry Kudlow on the program yesterday, putting out some very bold growth numbers for the rest of this year. Roll tape, please.
20% plus growth in the third and fourth quarters. You can score that. And we're going to have a big bang year next year as the president puts in his free market reward success policies.
Now, I'll repeat that. That's a 20% growth in the third and fourth quarters. I presume he's comparing it to the second quarter, but that's still very rapid growth. You on board with that?
Well, I'm certainly on board with the third quarter growth rebound. What Americans need to think of GDP as gross domestic product, economic output, is that when the country shut down, you effectively left the room and turned off the light switch. So by definition, when you turn that light switch back on, which is what we're going to see reflected in third quarter GDP, you're going to have this massive rebound just by virtue of all of these companies reopening. What I would prefer to see, however, is not a million first-time initial jobless claimants every week in and out. That is indicative of the fact that the economy continues to weaken and suggests, with all due deference to Mr. Kudlow, suggests that we're losing momentum heading into the fourth quarter, especially because a lot of the layoffs that we are seeing now are in the white-collar economy, higher-paid individuals. We've seen, just out of the last week, we've seen white-collar professional business services job openings decline to negative 50% year over year. It's the job market that is going to ultimately drive this economy, and that's what we really need to see come roaring back.
Very interesting. I didn't know that about that 50% drop in job openings for, what was it again, for white collar?
Professional and business services. This is some weekly economic data, fantastic resource that we have that tracks what these job openings are, and we're seeing it again. Google Ventures, for example, their venture capital arm, they just announced layoffs. We're seeing higher paid Americans begin to lose their jobs because of the demand destruction that we've seen because of the corona crisis.
Oh dear. Danielle, good information. Thanks for sharing it with us. We'll see you again real soon. Thank you.